Hola estudiantes, hoy es viernes. Ojalá que ustedes tengan un buen fin de semana. Una cosa cómica para empezar el día. Y hoy en día está en Spanglish, más o menos. So a magician from Spain told the crowd he would make himself disappear. Uno, dos, and poof! He was gone without a trace. Ja. Hoy yo quiero que ustedes discutan sus planes de este fin de semana. So, para empezar, ¿qué harás este fin de semana? So remember, you're not pronouncing the H. ¿Qué harás este fin de semana? What will you do? Hay muchas posibilidades, but I'm going to challenge you this morning. Mucha información. I would much rather have you provide a lot of information than that maybe isn't 100% perfect and kind of try it, than just say dormiré, that I will do this one particular activity. The other thing that I would remind you is that technically you have muchas palabras. You have a whole list of verbos that we've been working with. So if you don't see something here that says what you might do this weekend, then grab another verb, grab another action, and you're going to add this E with an accent. So, este fin de semana de señora, yo sacaré fotos con mi familia. Vamos a tener fotos de familia para la Navidad con toda mi familia, y vamos a llevar la ropa del dibujo animado from the cartoon, del dibujo animado Scooby-Doo. Y posiblemente yo puedo compartir una foto el lunes después. Pero yo seré, ¿quién soy? Yo seré Daphne, pienso, es lo que decidieron mis hijos. I think my kids decided that I get to be Daphne. Lucky me. So pregunta número 1, ¿qué harás este fin de semana? Una respuesta muy larga y después el opuesto. Y pregunta número 2, there's not a good spot for my head. ¿A dónde irás este fin de semana? To where will you go? So para mí, yo iré a Isanti, está en el norte. So it'll take más o menos 45 minutos. Yo iré a Isanti para sacar las fotos con una fotógrafo que yo conozco de mi trabajo antes. So someone that I used to work with. Ella va a sacar las fotos. So pregunta, ¿a dónde irás este fin de semana? Y una respuesta, después pregunta y respuesta. Perfecta. Hablan. All right, so what does that leave us with today? We are going to do just a bit of quick review with the subject pronouns. We're going to do some Yo2 review and play some 20 questions. And then we're going to see about getting all of the conjugations in the present tense. Again, it's predominantly review information. I know there's a handful of you that have mentioned you have never done this. So we are going to continue to do some practice with it and in the coming days. So looking ahead, your summative for the end of this trimester is going to be on B day of the week after Thanksgiving. So that would be Wednesday, Thursday after Thanksgiving, and it will be on your subject pronouns and verbs that accompany. So predominantly the verbs, but clearly you have to know your subject pronouns as well. All right, so let's do a quick review. Los pronombres. So, una paqueta verde. You should each be grabbing or getting a green packet, or you should have grabbed one as you came in. So what I'd like you to do, take 2 minutos, and you're going to complete as much as you can of this top section. So for example, what is the word to say I? How do you say you in the informal sense? What about he, she, or the formal you? We all, if it's a group of girls. So remember, there's the distinction. And then they, They as in all group of girls, and y'all or you all. All right, so anywhere you need to plug in the information so that you have it correct. The yo pronoun is going to be I. To is you. That's the informal, so that's going to be the one when you're talking to someone at the same level, your classmates, your siblings, people that you would consider to be peers. It's not going to be a person in a position of authority. It's not going to be your boss or a police officer or a judge or some random person, older people, anyone like that. L with an accent is he, ella is she. Usted is the formal you. So this is the one you're going to use when you talk with your boss or technically your teachers, anyone in that position that isn't considered your peer. Nosotros is we. The all-girl version then, of course, is nosotras. I've included vosotros and vosotras just for those of you that I know like to keep an eye on that. And then they is going to be ellos if it's an all-male group or if it's a mixed gender group, so you have both guys and girls in there. But if it's all girls, it's going to be ellas. And then y'all, a group of people that you're talking to, is going to be ustedes. So you should be kind of used to hearing ustedes because that's the one that typically, when I address the class, that is, I use the ustedes form to say, hey, y'all do this, like saquen, take things out, abren. So when I have y'all doing something. All right, take a look to the actividad right underneath. Ahora, now you're going to coordinate the subject pronoun for each person or group of people that are listed. So again, una pausa, we'll take a pause here. Go ahead and you're gonna plug in those 10. So for example, if I wanted to write a sentence about Roberto, but I didn't want to write Roberto's name, I just wanted to say he, what pronoun could I use? All right, aquí son las respuestas. So Roberto, if we want to just say he, would be L with an accent mark. Don't forget that, otherwise it's the. The second one, moving to the right, Susana is ella. Again, remember that's ella, not Ella. Double L's are a Y sound. Número tres, Carlos y Carolina son ellos, because Carlos is a masculine name, Carolina is feminine, so we're going to say ellos because it has one of each gender. Número cuatro, tú y yo. It has you and I. Because I'm in there, it's going to be nosotros of some form. In this instance, I would take either because it kind of depends on your own gender in terms of which one you may have written and making an assumption as to who tú is. Número cinco, Miguel y tú. So Miguel and you. I would use the ustedes form. So if we were referring to this group, it would be y'all. Número seis, Elena y Gloria are ellas. Siete, Marta y usted son ustedes. That is essentially similar to the one right above it in that it's tú is the informal, usted is the formal. Número ocho, Marta y ella son ellas. So Marta is a female name, ella is she, so Marta and her, or Martha and she, would be ellas. Número nueve would be ellos. And número diez, Marta y yo. Again, I look at it and go, oh, yo soy una chica, so nosotras. Some of you might have looked at it and said, oh, yo soy un chico, and so you have nosotros. All right, so let's jump back to yesterday. We're going to do a quick round of 20 preguntas. So, 20 preguntas. Let me move my face off of my face. So you're going to choose any 5 items from the list that you do in a typical week. So as I take a look at that, our list is here. So we have ayudar a mi mamá, beber mucha agua, caminar con el perro, cocinar para mi familia, so to cook for my family, comprar un regalo, so to buy a gift, correr con amigos. The next one is descansar, to rest, leer una novela, limpiar la casa, mirar un partido de fútbol norteamericano. Pescar en un lago, so to fish, but specifically in a lake. Practicar un deporte, sacar fotos, tocar un instrumento, tomar Coca-Cola, viajar con mi familia, y visitar a mis abuelos. So you're going to choose 5 items from that list. Don't tell your partner. You're going to write them on the lines provided, but you're going to change them from the infinitive into the yo form. So remember from yesterday or possibly Wednesday, the yo form ends with O. Yo ends with O. So instead of writing ayudar, I would write it in the yo form to say I do this. So ayudo a mi mamá. So I help my mom. So whatever the 5 items are, you're going to write them in the yo form. All right, so here's where the 20 preguntas comes in. Working with your pareja, you're going to take turns asking each other, do you do this? So for example, I might ask my partner, sacas, so now I'm putting it in the to form, sacas fotos. They're going to tell me either yes, I take pictures, or no, I don't, based on the 5 that are written. So if they didn't write that on the lines, they would say, no saco fotos, or photos. If they did, they'd go, sí, saco fotos. What I suggest you do to keep track is cross out or draw a line through the ones you ask about that they say no, and circle the ones they say yes. Your goal, alternating back and forth, is to figure out the 5 items that they wrote prior to them figuring out the 5 that you have written. Ooh, getting ahead of myself. All right, should you finish before we're out of time and we move on, you're going to flip it over, you're going to play a second time. So choose 5 different things, and you're going to continue to ask questions and answer questions. So until you get stopped, there should be nothing but preguntas y respuestas. And then you will be on to the second one. Keep on going. All right, so en los cuadernos, find your apuntes. What I would like you to do is to see if you can add in the additional conjugations as you listen to this little 3-minute song. So it's kind of fun. It's a lot cheesy, but hopefully you enjoy it. Kind of a fun way to get those endings into your cerebro. All right, so these are going to be our verbs in the present tense. So I've given you the subject pronouns down the left-hand side, and I've given you what those endings look like divided by verb. So we've already talked about the yo form and the to form. So remember, all forms, AR, ER, and IR, are all going to end with an O in the yo. And in the to form, AR verbs are an AS, the other 2 are ES. So as you take a quick look, you're going to notice AR verbs consistently are going to stay with that A in their ending. ER and IR are consistently going to stay with an E, but they are similar in terms of what they do. So in the he, she, usted form, the AR verbs end with an A, and ER and IR end with an E. In the nosotros, it's amos, A-M-O-S, but this is the one it is different in ER. So ER is amos with an E, and IR is emos with an I. So this is the only one you have to worry about being different in each verb type. Lastly, in the they or ustedes form, it's going to be an AN for AR verbs and an EN for both ER and IR. All right, so in your paqueta azul, we have a blue packet that has white in the back. What I want you to do, you're going to flip to that last page where there are 3, count them, 1, 2, 3, 3 spaces. We're going to do 3 examples here for you. Bailar is your first one. We're going to put I say 5 forms because I'm skipping over the vosotros, but all 5 forms of bailar. So take a moment, you're going to write them in. And typically you're going to find I write them yo, tú, él, ella, usted, nosotros. I skip this second one on the right, and then ellos, ellas, ustedes. All right, so bailo, bailas, bailan, bailamos, and bailan. Oh, error. This should be baila. I will get that N taken off on the slide. So it's bailo, bailas, baila, bailamos, and bailan. All right, let's do an ER practice. Here's your forms, and